What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. We just got a very interesting brand new Overwatch experimental card featuring hero changes that were actually put together by some of the content creators in the community. So in this video, I just want to real quickly run through all the changes listed here because there are a lot, and even show off some of the more curious changes that were included. Anyways, let's jump right on in, starting off with the tank heroes. D.Va, defense matrix, size increased by 10%, boosters, duration increased from 2 to 4 seconds, speed increased by 25%, and now an interesting change, ejecting out of the mech now ejects you at 15 meters per second up and 10 meters per second in the direction you were holding. Yeah, she just straight up gets yeeted into the sky now. Pilot D.Va quick melee damage increased from 30 to 100. Well, D.Va just got a bit more intimidating while in pilot form, I'll just say that. Moving on to Orisa, protective barrier, health reduced from 600 to 300, cooldown reduced from 10 to 8 seconds, fusion driver no longer slowed while firing, fortify, duration increased from 4 to 6 seconds, and Orisa can now be headshot once again while using fortify. Halt, cooldown reduced from 6 to 4 seconds, health changed from 200 health and 250 armor to 1 health and 399 armor, and to top it all off, she now wears a Christmas hat. Reinhardt, barrier field, health increased from 1600 to 2000, fire strike, damage reduced from 100 to 80, now has 2 charges, and projectile speed increased by 100%. Earth shatter, knockdown duration increased from 2.5 to 3 seconds, now deals 400 damage in a 1.5 meter radius around the impact point. Blocking an enemy earth shatter now plays the voice line, "You shame yourself," and also now shows up in the kill feed using Rein's shield icon. Interesting change. Steadfast, knockback resistance increased from 30% to 40%, and armor health increased from 200 to 225, thus bringing his total HP up to 525. Roadhog, chain hook, impact damage increased from 30 to 80, cooldown reduced from 8 to 6, take a breather, healing reduced from 300 to 250. Whole hog now lifts Roadhog while using it if it is pointed downward. Now, unfortunately, I really wanted to showcase this one because this might be the single best change in this entire patch, but unfortunately, I was going to record it in a sort of separate custom game where I could have, multiple Roadhogs flying, but then after I recorded all the other changes that I will be showing in this video, there was an error, and now the experimental patch, at least at the time of me recording this, is no longer actually available, and thus I cannot record footage of Roadhog flying. I did consider delaying the entire video until it went back up just so that, I could showcase the hog change, but unfortunately, for all we know, it might not be up again until tomorrow or a few days from now, so I just decided to go ahead and upload the footage I did have talking about all the changes across the board. Scrap cannon pellet damage reduced from 6.6 to 5, maximum health reduced from 600 to 500. Sigma, health increased from 300 to 400. Experimental barrier, this ability is now disabled. It is experimental after all. Well, alright then. Accretion, impact damage increased from 30 to 40, explosion damage increased from 40 to 50, is now susceptible to reflect/deflect abilities such as defense matrix, and Sigma now uses his yes voice line after every use. Kinetic Grasp, cooldown reduced from 12 to 8 seconds, now increases Sigma's movement speed by 100% while active, and Sigma is now able to hold jump while airborne to slow his descent. Winston, jump hack, now deals up to 100 damage to enemies within 4 meters of the launch location, and travel speed increased by 30%. Primal Rage, health bonus increased from 500 to 1000. Knockback effects are now 30% less effective against Winston, and Winston deals 100% more damage to deployable objects, such as barriers, turrets, etc. Wrecking Ball, Grappling Claw, max duration is now 3.5 seconds. Ball Form, jump height increased by 100%. Full speed impact damage on collisions reduced from 50 to 40, can now change directions a lot more quickly and easily. Pile Driver, minimum damage reduced from 20 to 15, maximum damage reduced from 100 to 80, cooldown reduced from 10 to 8 seconds, and can now be used from a slightly lower height. Adaptive Shield, shield granted per target reduced from 75 to 50, duration increased from 9 to 12 seconds, and cooldown reduced from 15 to 12 seconds. Zarya, Particle Cannon, alt-fire explosions no longer hurt yourself, alt-fire knockback increased by 150%, primary fire minimum damage increased from 75 to 85 damage per second, particle barrier and projected barrier, health increased from 200 to 250, and size increased by 50%. Alright, quite a few interesting changes there for the tanks, but now let's move on to the damage heroes, starting with Ashe. Coach Gun now has 2 charges. Guess that makes sense, it is a double barrel shotgun after all.
I'm a force of nature.
Dynamite, cooldown increased from 12 to 14 seconds. The Viper, hip fire recovery reduced from 0.25 to 0.22 seconds. Aim down sight movement penalty reduced from 30% to 10%. Cassidy, aka McCree, Fan the Hammer, damage increased from 50 to 55. Combat Roll, now usable while airborne. Flashbang, cooldown increased from 10 to 12 seconds, and Deadeye now spawns more tumbleweeds. Mind the thorns. Bastion, Configuration Recon, bullet spread reduced by 15%, Configuration Tank now grants 100 bonus armor. Doomfist, the best defense passive, shields gained through normal abilities increased from 30 to 40, Meteor Strike landing time after confirmation reduced from 1 to 0.5 seconds, and health reduced from 250 to 225. Genji, Cyber Agility, wall climbing speed increased by 50%, wall climbing now refunds double jumps availability, and Shuriken recovery reduced from 0.68 to 0.6 seconds. Hanzo, storm arrows now ricochet off surfaces up to 5 times. Oh my god. And Lunge, cooldown reduced from 5 to 3 seconds. Junkrat, Total Mayhem, grenade count increased by 100% and grenades drop in a 30% wider area. Frag Launcher, impact damage reduced from 40 to 30, minimum explosion damage reduced from 10 to 8, Concussion Mine, maximum damage increased from 120 to 125, and minimum damage reduced from 30 to 25. Pharah, Hover Jets, holding crouch while airborne increases falling speed. Concussive Blast, cooldown reduced from 9 to 8 seconds. Jump Jet, cooldown reduced from 10 to 9 seconds. Reaper, Shadow Step, movement speed increased by 40% for 6 seconds after ending. Hellfire Shotguns, pellet spread reduced by 15%. Soldier 76, Sprint, automatically reloads heavy pulse rifle after 3 seconds of continuous use. Tactical Visor now increases heavy pulse rifle damage by 10% while active. Sombra, Hack, affected targets now take 20% increased damage from all sources for 3 seconds. Cooldown increased from 8 to 12 seconds. Machine Pistol, bullet spread reduced by 10%. Symmetra, teleporting now increases movement speed by 50% for 1.5 seconds. Torbjorn, Rivet Gun, recovery time reduced from 0.6 to 0.45 seconds. Forge Hammer, damage increased from 55 to 75. Overload now increases Forge Hammer damage to 125 while active. Turret, damage reduced from 14 to 11. Tracer, Recall, now restores all blink charges, and cooldown increased from 12 to 14 seconds. And Pulse Pistols, ammo increased from 40 to 50. Widowmaker, Widow's Kiss, automatic fire, minimum damage after falloff increased from 3.9 to 5, and automatic fire maximum damage increased from 13 to 15. Infrasight now resets grappling hook's cooldown. Alright, that's quite a few changes we've gone through, but now let's move on to the support heroes, starting with Ana. Sleep Dart, eliminating sleeping targets, resets the cooldown. Nano Boost is now self-applied to Ana when used without a target. Baptiste, Biotic Launcher, healing grenades now affect Baptiste as well. Regenerative Burst now damages enemies instead of healing allies.
Regen burst activated.
And Exo Boots now deals 40 damage to enemies within 4 meters upon landing. Brigitte, Inspire, no longer heals allies, but instead, triggering Inspire now reduces the cooldown of Repair Pack by 0.5 seconds. Repair Pack, charges increased from 3 to 5. Lucio, Sound Barrier, cost reduced by 30%, now deals massive damage to enemies Lucio lands directly on top of. And here Baptiste thought he was impressive with those changes he got. Lucio's over here playing straight up Super Mario Bros. Sonic Amplifier, fire rate increased by 15% while wall riding, and after 1 second of wall riding, this bonus is reduced by 50%. Mercy, Valkyrie, killing blows extend the duration by 3 seconds. Caduceus Staff, healing now reduces from 55 HPS to 40 HPS over 2 seconds while connected, and healing returns to its normal HPS over 2 seconds while not active. Resurrect can now be cancelled by using secondary fire while channeling, refunding 50% of its cooldown. Moira, Biotic Grasp. Biotic Grasp's healing now consumes Moira's own health if used while out of energy. Fade now cleanses status effects from players Moira passes through and allied players that are around her when it ends. Biotic Orb, allies that receive at least 100 healing from the same Biotic Orb are cleansed of all status effects, and enemies that suffer at least 100 damage from the same Biotic Orb are slowed by 30% for 1.5 seconds. Zenyatta, Discord Orb damage amplification reduced from 25% to 20% can now be applied to barriers, turrets, and other attackable objects, no longer reveals the position of its target through line of sight, and line of sight return time reduced from 3 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Harmony Orb, line of sight return time reduced from 3 seconds to 1.5 seconds, and Transcendence, total healing reduced from 1800 to 1200, and now applies Discord Orb to nearby enemies. Whew, alright, there you go. Now keep in mind this is just an experimental card. Based on what we know about it so far, almost certainly none of these changes are going to be going live, at least not right away. So this is purely something for us to play around with, test out these wacky and, well, downright broken changes in some cases. And yeah, honestly, I'm glad to see that Blizzard is trying something sort of fun like this. Now, quick disclaimer, I wasn't one of the content creators who actually got to give input into making these changes, but I definitely do love that Blizzard is focusing a bit more on the content creator community and getting some input from us about what sort of changes we would like to see, whether they're serious changes or just things we think would be fun to experiment with. So overall, I have to say this is a very cool thing for Blizzard to be trying out. Definitely the sort of thing we need right now, given just how little content there is across the board. But let me know your thoughts on all these. Are there any changes in particular which you are quite fond of? Maybe even ones that you'd like to see come to the actual game? Definitely let me know in the comments down below, and as always, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch and Overwatch 2 news and content, and special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible. If you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.